friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing 7 tips for those whose partner is joining the military. Whether you're in a relationship now or about to be, this video is for you. Before we dive in, I just want to make something very clear. I am not a military content creator. My content is rooted in lifestyle and travel, with a little hodgepodge of other things as well. But as a current military spouse, I get a ton of questions about military life. Honestly, some of my most viral TikToks, which is my main platform, actually about what it's like to be with someone in the military. One video in particular blew up, which is this one right here, where I shared a few quick tips about navigating this lifestyle. And I realized, y'all want more. So this is me delivering to you guys. In this video today, I'll be sharing a deeper look into my own experience, plus some advice I wish I had known early on. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go. Starting off strong with tip number 1. Really ask yourself if this is the life you want. I am not going to sugarcoat it. Life as a military spouse is all rainbows and butterflies. It's not impossible, but it doesn't come without its challenges when a romantic relationship is already challenging on its own without the added stress of the military life. You need to genuinely reflect on the type of person you are, you want to be, what kind of romantic relationship you want. For instance, if you couldn't fathom a long-distance relationship or going months without seeing your partner, then I fear this life might not be for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It does not make you less of a person or weak. If anything, I think knowing yourself and what you want and who you want to be makes you stronger, which is why I highly stress some self-reflection, which I know can be easier said than done when you really love your partner, but it's not just about them and what they want. When you're doing some of this self-reflection, you need to also ask your partner a few things as well. For instance, what are their goals in the military? What do they want to do? How many years do they want to do? Do they want to be an officer? Do they want to do special forces or special operations? These are definitely questions that you need to ask them, because it will determine your path and what your experiences will be like as a military spouse. To give a little idea from my personal experience and from what I know others have experienced as well, my husband is an officer in the Army and he deals with medical logistics. And when we were stationed in Georgia, because yes, a little bit of a tidbit information, where you are stationed will also determine what your life is going to look like as a military spouse, because each duty station kind of has like a different goal, which I really don't know how to explain that. You'll find out. But anyways, while he was stationed in Georgia, he was constantly in the field, worked from like 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., had to go to PT every single morning, was training in the desert of California for like about 2 months, and for a few of those weeks he didn't have his phone. He had to go to San Antonio for 2 months to take a course. He deployed for 9 months. You get the picture I'm painting here? But now, being stationed in Germany, his job title is a little different now, and he's basically working a 9 to 5. The work environment is way more relaxed, and I see him way more than I did in Georgia. And then to give like another example as well, say for special forces or special operations, which my husband is not, but I have friends whose partners are. They are always on rotation for deployment. Every few months, they're gonna be gone. And their schedules can be very demanding. And depending on what they do, it can be a very dangerous thing. So to get to my point of tip number 1, reflect on what you want. Ask your partner what they are seeking in the military and go from there. And if you've decided you can handle this lifestyle, then let's move on to tip number 2. Figure out a communication plan. If they're just joining the military, which is what this video is about, they are going to have to go to some form of boot camp. From my experience with friends and family, that means a few months of little to no communication and a shaved head or two. From what I can remember, they receive a few phone calls, but their main form of communication is through writing letters. And I just want to say this tip transcends just boot camp. Like, this will apply all throughout your military life with your partner, and honestly, just in a romantic relationship, you should have a communication plan. But to give you another example, which by the way, I'm going to be giving you guys a ton of examples in this video because I have had a lot of experiences in this. For instance, when my husband was deployed, we established how much we expected to talk to one another and how we were going to do that. Are we going to be texting a few times a day? Are we going to have like a phone call? Are we going to be FaceTiming? What are we going to do? And how much do we expect to do it? Of course, you'll learn you can't plan everything when it comes to the military, which is going to be another tip coming soon. Having some form of agreement with the understanding that some things are going to come up where you might not get to talk as much as you expected or wanted to. Having an idea that the two of you have discussed and agreed upon make things go way more smoothly. Trust me. So to summarize, tip number 2, from the get-go, establish a communication plan and make amendments as you go for events like NTC, deployments, being in the field, you name it. There's going to be things that come up where your plan isn't always going to go as planned, but that's okay. So tip number 3, get yourself some hobbies. If you're like me, you spend most of your time with your partner and you thoroughly enjoy spending time with your partner over anyone else. No offense to my friends and family. I love you guys and I love spending time with y'all. But if your partner is joining the military, that means they're leaving for boot camp. After boot camp, that means they'll be gone at times. And you'll find yourself wondering what to do, or you'll drive yourself crazy from loneliness if you don't pick up some hobbies. If you have children, a job, or you're in school, then that's perfect. That means you at least have something to devote your time and energy to while your partner is gone. But I still encourage finding some hobbies outside of that. Whether it be starting a fitness journey in Pilates, picking up a paintbrush, journaling, traveling, getting brunch with friends, reading, you name it. It will help the time go by and it's good for you too. So it's a win-win situation. Your life doesn't stop when they leave. So keep on living. Book that flight. Spend time with your family and friends. Learn a cool new trick because sitting at home doing nothing but being sad that they're gone won't benefit you nor your partner. It's okay. Sad couch potato days. It's not okay to make that a routine. Keep yourself occupied a healthy amount or it'll be too tempting to get lost in loneliness and sadness. Believe me, I have been there plenty of times and have cried myself to sleep plenty of times because my husband was gone. So going off of this tip, I'll go into my next that directly relates to this one. Tip number 4, get comfortable being alone. If you are not used to being alone for extended periods of time, military life is not going to be easy for you, but it's not impossible. If you are fortunate enough to have friends and family close by, really lean on them. Spend time with them. But if you don't, here's what you can do. I'm going to explain this from my own experience. I am not a social butterfly. So meeting new people and trying new things is really difficult for me. But I had to find my people. So I've done things like creating a Bumble account to meet new friends or made myself go to an event despite my social anxiety.
This is exactly the kind of social situation that I am not comfortable with.
For instance, moving to Germany, I knew no one. I was fortunate enough to meet some cool people through social media and going to events. Now I hang out with them on occasion. But I'm getting a little off topic because this whole tip is about getting comfortable being alone. I personally am naturally comfortable being alone because I grew up a pretty independent child, but I still forced myself to do things when my partner was gone that I wouldn't normally do alone. I know people say this all the time, but romanticizing your life will make being alone easier. For example, taking yourself to get a cute little coffee, going to the park and reading a good book, putting on a fun outfit and going shopping, listening to music with the windows down in your car. There are so many ways you can romanticize your life while being alone that makes life more bearable while your partner's gone. Because if you're like me, it means you don't have kids, unless you include your adorable little pupper dog. And your family is hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. So being alone becomes the new norm. But it doesn't mean it has to suck. Besides, it's sucking your partner is gone. I cannot tell you how many times I forced myself to put on a cute little outfit and put on some makeup, and I would go to a cute little coffee shop and sit outside in the sun while sipping my too expensive coffee, or made myself go to the bookstore and buy a new book that I've been wanting to read and just invested all my time into reading this book, or made myself go to the gym to just fill my time. Yeah. There are plenty of things you can do to romanticize your life being alone and just getting comfortable being alone. But you're never truly alone. So on to tip number 5. I cannot emphasize this enough, and I've already briefly mentioned it a few times. But understand, almost nothing goes as planned in the military. Nothing. If you are a type A person, I am so sorry, but all of your intricate planning will just go in the dumpster because of Uncle Sam. Being a military spouse, you pretty much have to accept that you'll find out things when the military decides to inform you, even if it's 24 hours before. And sometimes the path you think you and your partner are going to be taking will completely unravel and change direction. But that just keeps things interesting. Nothing is set in stone when it comes to the military. So don't fully accept something is happening until it's actually happening. And I am not over exaggerating when I say this. You think your partner will be coming home a certain day at a certain time? Maybe, maybe not. You think you're gonna get stationed in Hawaii? How about Nebraska? I'm not trying to scare you, but being a military spouse means rolling with the punches. Having an idea of how things are gonna go down, but acknowledging it might not go as planned. I cannot tell you how many times dates, places, careers have changed last minute for my husband since being with him. Let me give you some more examples. One summer, my husband was supposed to deploy by end of August, September, if I remember correctly. He opens his work email after we got back from a quick summer vacation to find out he's actually leaving in less than 2 weeks. Another example, he was supposed to return from his deployment on a certain day, and it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, which drove us both crazy. Another example, we originally thought our next duty station was going to be in Texas, and we had started to arrange plans for the move and was mentally trying to vision our life in Texas because we were having to move from Georgia. Now we're in Germany. So just never fully know with the military. You can only plan so much. If you're not already, I know it's going to be very hard. It gets difficult for me sometimes, and I'm not even a type A person. You're just going to have to be a little laid back. Just roll with it a little bit. You can try to ask your partner 1,000 times what's going on, and they probably know as much as you. So that is my tip number 5. So tip number 6, and this is going to be my last tip. I completely had an oopsie in the beginning. I know I said I had 7 tips, but I actually only have 6. But on to tip number 6. This goes for both you and your partner. Be each other's support system. Yes, your partner joining the military is about to go through a huge transition in life, but so are you. You may not be the one actively in the military, but your life changes alongside theirs. So just because it seems like what they are going through trumps anything that you are going through, it doesn't mean your trials and tribulations aren't significant as well. In any relationship, you need to support each other and build each other up. They should be able to tell you how much they despise their drill sergeant.
No get no sympathy from me!
And you should be able to tell them how Rebecca from finance pissed you off that day. If you're not each other's shoulder to cry on, even when they are going through intense military-related things, then I personally think that is not fair and not sustainable. So to summarize, before I go on a completely separate rant about that, support one another, listen to one another, and build each other up. So I know I said I was going to do 7 tips. I am so sorry. I had an oopsie in my intro. I only had the 6 tips for today. These are definitely my top tips though if your partner is joining the military. I'm definitely not an expert, but these are things that help me get through some of the harder moments with my husband, and I hope they can help you too. Honestly, I could go on and on with more advice, so if this video was helpful, let me know in the comments. I'd love to do a part 2 if that's something you'd be into. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe because it really supports my channel and it helps me know what kind of content you guys want more of. I'll be working on more videos like this for YouTube, but in the meantime, I do have a military playlist on my TikTok where I share tips, stories, and other real life moments. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this gave you a better idea of what to expect. And if you're into travel vlogs, be sure to check out my travel playlist here on the channel too. But I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.